How many of you feel like you're alone? You don't have anyone to rely on. Well, I'm here to tell you, you have lots to rely on. There's so many beautiful communities out there, so many people that want to yeah, send their love, send their guidance to you, send support, whatever you need. We're all here for you. We're all reaching out. Check out every community there is. There's wonderful people that I've come in contact with since I started the spiritual journey. Doing a solo retreat was the best thing that ever happened to me. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about how to forgive, how to let go, how to understand my limiting beliefs. Just, I want to share my story with you. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid, and it took a lot for me to understand that I created this reality. But for years, I went through basically trauma, and it weighed on me a lot, and I didn't know how to react around people. I was very self conscious around others. I would become easily triggered. The smallest words like stupid or dumb were like instant bombs, and I couldn't control anything. It's just my emotions took over me, my ego took over me, and I just didn't know how to socialize with people. I would talk about sports all the time, and that was the only way I seemed to like socialize with people. But there was still people that could get under my skin like so easily. And you don't really take time to understand this because you're busy with your mind. Your mind's always busy. It's not thinking about like being aware of this or being mindful of what's going on. It's just constantly you're staring at your phone and you're scrolling, you're looking at sports, you're looking at the news, you're looking at social media. You're not thinking about any of this because you're distracted. I was distracted, and I didn't really become aware of this until I had to understand that my life was my own reality, my own creation. But it took years to understand this. Like I was stubborn. I worked for the railway. I worked in the oil and gas sector. Growing up, I didn't have like, I had wonderful parents, but they kind of controlled everything I did. I had like door after door slammed on me for like opportunities, but I also set up my failures too. I didn't go into these interviews with a confidence. I didn't go into school with confidence. I had no confidence. It was completely gone. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to communicate because I was caught up in my own thoughts and my own fears and my own insecurities. I would eat my feelings. I tried playing sports, but I just didn't have the fundamentals or the understanding of it. I just wanted to play. And when they tried to get me to do drills, I became frustrated because I didn't know how to do it. The trauma I created and the insecurities I created, where I thought I walked by a group of people and I hear them laughing, and the assumption was they were automatically laughing at me. You don't realize this at the time. You're so caught up in your emotions, you're in that state of consciousness, you don't see the bigger picture. These people aren't laughing at you. The idea of these people are laughing at you. You created this. You did. Nobody else did this. You created the idea. But we can't tell ourselves that because we're so busy with our minds. Our minds are so overactive. We don't realize this until we become aware of it. And the beautiful thing about what I've learned on this journey so far is I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And I've learned to forgive myself, the people around me, understand things more, why people are reactive, why people get emotional. It was almost like a breakthrough for me. And to understand it, you have to read books. I mean, television isn't good. What is it teaching us? It's just been keeping on a couch. Even when you watch romantic movies, there's almost like a sad feeling that comes upon you. That moment where they're truly in love, you're like, oh, I wish I had that. It makes you sad. It made me wish I would have it. I stopped focusing on that and started to focus on myself. how I can improve myself, how I can improve my health, how I can improve my mind. And since I've been doing that, I've noticed a big change in how I respond to things that would normally cause me to be reactive. And just by practicing this day in, day out, and learning about like how powerful forgiveness is and how just to be mindful of my thoughts and be mindful of others' thoughts and learn that if someone has a difference in opinion of you, then let them have their opinion. The fact that it makes me reactive to it tells me there's something still that I'm not working on. Tells me that there's still something that's causing this limiting belief, creating the idea of it. But you won't know that until you become aware. Practice this daily, and I will continue to talk about this. Awareness is so wonderful. And when you get into situations where you become overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, just close your eyes for a moment, take a nice deep breath, and just allow yourself. And when you calm down, that's when you can start to process. You can't process your thoughts when you're angry. You can't process your thoughts when you're sad, because then you get lost in your thoughts and they overtake you, and then you stay angry, you stay sad. This is how depression starts. Our thoughts just become too powerful. Like our mind can take over us, like no problem. I know. I let it happen to me. I allowed it to grow into anxiety. I become aware of things like an argument with someone. Right after I have an argument with someone, I ask myself a question. Why is this making me angry? What purpose is this serving? We don't ask ourselves these questions. I know I didn't. How many of you out there can say you've asked these questions to yourself? When someone just emotionally charged you, made you furious, that you're just spitting venom. None of you probably. Well, here's a trick. Try doing that. Try asking yourself questions. Try prompting yourself. Try keeping yourself in check, holding yourself accountable, understanding why this is making you feel this way. What are you still holding on to that is keeping you, that is making you react? What is it? I know mine was trauma. Certain words like dumb, stupid, retarded, those words were triggers for me. Key words can be triggers. Even locations can be triggers for us. Yeah, I don't like hospitals because in hospital I had to watch my mother die before my eyes. So yeah, I'm still working on that. I've learned to forgive hospitals. I've learned to forgive doctors. I've learned to forgive myself for allowing myself to get angry. I had to become aware of this, learning to understand yourself. And when you do, like, you can be a part of wonderful communities. There's so much support out there. Reach out. If you're feeling overwhelmed, reach out. Leave a comment on my channel. I'll reach out back. I'll introduce you to tons of people. I'll introduce you to books. I'll introduce you to meditations. Your mental health is more important. Get your mental health on the right path, and the rest follows. You don't have to worry about success. You don't have to worry about finances. You don't have to worry about relationships. Worry about you. Until you fix you, you're not going to help anyone. You're not going to help yourself. You're going to keep struggling because you're putting that lack, you're putting that feeling on everything. You're stuck. You're caught in the web of despair. It's all just clouding your mind. Just to be at peace takes a lot of work and a lot of time. It took me 39 years, but I'm willing to put in the work every day now because I'm seeing success. I'm seeing abundance. I'm seeing a beautiful relationship. I'm seeing the life I'm meant to live, not the life I have been living. I have to show up every day to keep going, striving for more. I learned to love me and I learned to forgive me. Just meeting so many wonderful people by doing this podcast. We exchange tools with each other. How many of you talk about what you can do to help a person or what tools could help you? What books are good? What books have you read? What knowledge are you understanding? What is your mind doing? I bet you none of you do this. We're so caught up in the three-dimensional world that we're talking about stuff that is meaningless. We're not talking about stuff that serves a purpose. I know I did it for years, and now I don't do it anymore because it doesn't serve me a purpose. It's great. I love my Seahawks. I always cheer for the Seahawks, but to go out of my way now and talk about it, I'd rather talk about helping people, and I'd rather talk about what I can do to serve humanity, what purpose I'm here to do, how I can help others. Anyone wants to reach out, I'm always here to listen. I learned a trick. I look at their lips, and then as I'm looking at their lips, then it goes more into my mind. And that's how I start to understand people. You got to be tuned right in, like full on tunnel vision for this to work, though. You can't be distracted with what's going on in the world. I was just on a call and people were talking about the news. Why are you watching the news? I don't watch the news. It doesn't affect me. It affects everyone else. They allow it to. It's just like politics. We allow politics to affect us, but we don't need to. Worry about what's going on inside of you first before you worry about what's going on outside of you. That's my biggest thing. That's what I focus on. If there's something not right with me, I got to fix it. Whatever goes on outside of me is not my problem. Just learn to roll with the punches and not worry about the news, worry about the weather, worry about any of this. Worry about you first, and then worry about that stuff later. But you right now, you're only good to your children, you're only good to your wife if you're good first. If you're not right, you got to get right. And when you get right, then you can serve your family. But get right with you first. Figure out what's going on with you, why you have limiting beliefs, why you have trauma, why you have insecurities, why you don't like this person. Figure out all that. Your mental health is more important. Your mental health is more important than, say, what goes on right now in the world. You got to get right with you. If you want to help those people that are struggling in the world, help you first, because your love, your light, your energy will help them. But if you're not letting your light out and you're being caught in darkness and your mind is clouded, you can't serve people. You can't help a person until you get right. I know it's an ongoing battle. Same with forgiveness. For me, it's a thing I'm practicing regularly now, because there's always some small thing that will annoy me. And then I'll ask myself, why is it annoying me? Because I haven't forgiven it. Support anyone who's struggling right now. Much love to all of you, and just take that moment, close your eyes, and just take that deep breath and let it resonate with you. And you'll see that you'll just need that moment of zen and just peace. And you'll feel wonderful. Much love, y'all.